Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Vic here, back with another Madden 20 video, and in today's episode, we're obviously going to be rebuilding the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yuck. Yuck, I say, because the Baltimore Ravens are my favorite team. I mentioned this in almost every video. You guys are probably tired of hearing it, but we have our coach here won't take the word no. I wasn't long enough for the coach name of won't take no for an answer. But if you guys know the situation with Big Ben, that I can't talk about it because it's too graphic for children, then you guys will know what I'm saying. You guys can look it up if you want to. But apart from that, let's get into the rebuild. Here we are with our commander, Big Ben. I'm obviously going to trade this man. This man is 37 years old, 15 years experience. Abilities at last ditch with sleight of the hand. I don't even know what that ability is, but it's not going to matter because we're going to trade him. We have James Conner, an actually overrated halfback in my opinion. He is super overrated. Juju Smith-Schuster, underrated. Deontay Johnson and James Washington. Eric Ebron here. I'm going to start him over Vance McDonald because he is only 26 years old. David DeCastro, probably one of the most underrated linemen. Defensively, I'm probably going to switch to a 4-6 like I always do. TJ Watt, very underrated outside linebacker with Devin Bush. Cameron Hayward, who is also underrated. Mike Hilton and Minkah Fitzpatrick at free safety. Defensive tackle could use improving. But special teams wise, cool, I guess. We're obviously going to upgrade it in free agency. But I'm going to move Deontay Johnson up so that way he gets more XP and playing time. So that way he develops faster. But apart from that, it is time to get into the rebuilds. I meant to say the trades, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. A center, a left end for a first and a 6 from the Giants. Next, we have our QB Ben Roethlisberger and our cornerback Nelson for a first, a 4, and a 5 from the Jaguars. And finally, we have our middle linebacker, our kicker, and our tight end Vance McDonald for a first and a 5 from the Green Bay Packers. And like I said before, I meant to say get into the trades, not the rebuilds. I feel kind of dumb. But we have Devlin Hodges as our quarterback for now. That's obviously not going to last. And overall, this team did take a little bit of a dip. But that's not the worst thing in the world. But apart from that, it is time to get into the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark. And we are coming off a loss to the Miami Dolphins. But we are 4-3. Second in division behind the Cleveland Browns. And looking into it, we have Cameron Hayward here, who I know is going to be extremely expensive. His finesse moves or power moves kind of suck, whatever that was. I don't even think I can do that. That's just way too much. Maybe I could franchise tag him at the end of the year and we could work out something later. But that's a no for now. Left tackle, no thanks. Juju Smith-Schuster, that's a definite yes. I would love to have him back. Only 22 years old. He wants more salary. I'll probably give it to him. James Conner, I'm not going to bring back. Bud Dupree is a no. I don't think so. He costs way too much. And everyone else, way too old. Mike Hilton, I'm going to pick up cheaper in free agency. Defensive backs always go pretty cheap in free agency. Defensive tackle, no. Right tackle, no. Everyone else here is definite no. So apart from that, I think it'd be time to get into the playoffs. Here we are at the playoffs coming off a win to the Baltimore Ravens. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. I don't like to see that as we finish 9-7 behind the Cleveland Browns. Devlin Hodges did not do as bad as I thought he would. Offensively, we were 26th. Defensively, we were 24th. James Conner had a terrible season. Devlin Hodges, James Conner actually had 14 touchdowns, which is really good, but not even 1,000 yards. Deontay Johnson, solid. Defensively, Devin Bush with the most tackles at 109 tackles for a loss, 14 for J.J. Watt, sacks 11 for Cameron Hayward, interceptions 2 for Devin Bush, and safeties is 0 and defensive touchdowns is 0. So apart from that, it is time to get into the offseason. Here we are at the offseason as the Cowboys beat the Browns in the Super Bowl 17-16 as we have players to re-sign such as Cameron Hayward. And I think I'm just going to franchise tag him actually. Most of the time I don't re-sign big contracts, and most people who watch my channel would know that. But I'm going to give him a really bad contract so that way it's cheaper to franchise tag him. He wanted $16 million a year and it only takes I think 14 or 12 mil a year to tag him. But Juju Smith-Schuster, we're going to want to keep him back for a long time. 86 overall, we improved the salary and he stays. But apart from that, there's no one else there that I want to resign. But looking into the team to see if there's any development upgrades, Devlin Hodges didn't get one, so he's not sticking around. And Everyone else kind of looks the same, I think, offensively. And David Castro is our only really good lineman. Devin Bush has superstar development, and Bud Dupree got up to star development, so I may pick up Bud Dupree in free agency. And Terrell Edmonds or Tremaine Edmonds has star development as well, but it's time to get into free agency. Here we are after free agency, as we have Mason Rudolph, 63 overall quarterback. We have Marlon Mack and Derrick Henry as our two halfbacks. And we have Jadeveon Clowney as well, who we got on a really cheap deal, so that may replace Cameron Hayward, or we could just keep him with TJ Watt. So either way, really, really big free agency, but it's time to get into the draft. Here we are after the draft, as we did have a big draft. It was definitely not stacked on offensive linemen, but we did get a right tackle on a QB. Lucas, not even going to try to pronounce that because I'm super illiterate. Defensively, we have a new defensive tackle and a defensive end who I'm probably going to move to defensive tackle or outside linebacker. And we also have a new defensive back, Jadeveon Clowney. I'm actually going to move him to outside linebacker, so that way the new rookie defensive end can actually play. This is a very edge-heavy team for defense, but apart from that, it is time to get into the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark, coming off a loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, as we are 5-2. We are at the top of the division, above the Cleveland Browns. We have players to re-sign, such as Cameron Hayward, and I think I am going to give him a long-term deal this year. He looks a little bit cheaper, actually. So I will re-sign him because I don't want to constantly franchise tag him every year. He re-signs. James Washington, I do want back. That's kind of expensive for what his overall is, and he even wants more money, so I don't know yet. Eric Ebron, I do want back. That's a pretty cheap contract, but he even wants more money. But apart from that, there's no one else here that I want, and I think it'd be time to get into the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs, coming off a loss to the New England Patriots, and we are a whole 6-10. That was quite the drop-off we had in our season. Let me check that out real quick, as I think we were 5-2 at the midseason mark. We were 5-2, coming off a loss, then LLL win, LLL. Okay, cool. Big losing streak, but okay, I guess. Looking into the stats, rookie did not do good. Devlin Hodges could have just done the same. 29th best offense, 6th best defense though. Lucas did. Derrick Henry did not do good either. Even for an X Factor, that's terrible. Deontay Johnson actually had a pretty good season. 2 yards off from 1,000 yards. Very close. Defensively, Terrell Edmonds with the most tackles. Tackles for a loss, 19 for Jose Riddle, the rookie. Sacks, 9 for TJ Watt. Interceptions, 3 for Devin Bush. And safeties is 0. And defensive touchdowns is 0. So, apart from that, guys, I think it would be time to get into the offseason. Here we are in the offseason, as the Browns, I think it is, beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl by 1 point. That's interesting, or maybe the other way around, but James Washington and Eric Ebron are here. They both want more salary, so I'm probably going to give it to them, actually. And he wants a little bit more bonus, maybe. James Washington resigns Eric Ebron. Gonna bump up that salary just a little bit, and then does he accept? He does, as he stays around. Everything else looks pretty good, and apart from that, looking into the team, Lucas only has star development, but it's fine. We have a franchise quarterback. Why is David DeCastro a second string? Put him at right guard. Thank you. Okay, computer. Derrick Henry, I don't know why. He's a superstar X Factor, but he's having terrible seasons. Defensively, pretty great edge with TJ Clowney and Cameron Hayward, and apart from that, everything looks good, and it's time to get into free agency. Here we are after free agency, as guys, I know we just did pick up a franchise quarterback, but like, come on, it's Deshaun Watson. I think he actually fits this team perfectly with escape artist and agile extender. It just seems like black and yellow are Deshaun Watson's colors. I don't know why. Just seems fitting to me, as we did pick up more depth cornerbacks, well, defensive backs if you want to call them that. We're going to cut this punter here because we do not need him. And everything else looks pretty good to me. So I would say apart from that, it is time to get into the draft. Before we get into the draft, we are trading our franchise QB and a third-round pick for the Bears' 10th pick in the draft. And this is what the team looks like after the draft, as we did improve the O-line very much so. And looking into it, we got a defensive tackle as well. But apart from that, this team looks pretty good, and it is time to get into the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark, coming off a bye week as we're about to play the 3-4 Miami Dolphins, as we are 5-2, second in the division below the Baltimore Ravens. And we have players to resign such as J.J. Watt, and his contract is going to be huge. It's going to absolutely suck. Okay, looking into it, very interesting. He excited to stay with the team, but I'm not excited for that contract. David DeCastro, we only got like 2 years left. I wish he would just I wish I didn't have to sign this contract, and he just wish he had like one more year in real life so that way I didn't have to do this. But we're gonna have to re-sign him. He even wants more money. Okay, I'm still gonna re-sign him even if he wants more money. But apart from that, everybody else here I don't really want or have an interest in. So yeah, again, apart from that, it's time to get into the playoffs. And here we are in the playoffs, coming off a loss to the Chicago Bears, as we are top of the division at 11-5, above the Baltimore Ravens. Deshaun Watson didn't do as good as I would like him to do, and defensively we did amazing, third best in the NFL. Derrick Henry had a lot better season than last season, 11 touchdowns, over 1,100 yards. Deontay Johnson, pretty solid season. Devin Bush with the most tackles on the team, yikes, only 88. Tackles for a loss, 15 for Jadeveon Clowney. Sacks, 13.5 for J.J. Watt. That's worth the money. Interceptions, 4 for Terrell Edmonds. And safeties is 0. Well, actually 1 for T.J. Watt. I'm stupid. And defensive touchdowns is 0. So apart from that, I think I'm actually going to hop into the wildcard game because you know what? I feel like it. So apart from that, it is time to get into this playoff game. Here we are in the first playoff game against the New England Patriots. It is 10-13 in the third quarter and is 13-17, third down alert. They have the ball driving down the field, third down alert once again. I'm going to hop in here to make sure. And this is the end of the game. We win 17-16 against the New England Patriots, and they did not have a good quarterback either. So looking into it, we are about to face the 11-4-1 Tennessee Titans. So let's not waste any time in this divisional round and just jump straight into it. Here we are in the divisional round against the Titans. It is 11-0. At one point, it was literally 2-0, and then it was 4-0. So we had 2 safeties in this game, which is pretty interesting. But it's 11-3, and now it is 18-3 as we continue to pour it on late into the fourth quarter. And that will be your ball game, 18-3, as the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Tennessee Titans in the divisional. Now it is time to move into the AFC Championship. Here we are in the AFC Championship to face the 12-4 Buffalo Bills, as we are 11-5. But looking into it, we're just going to jump straight into it. Here we are to face the Buffalo Bills, as it is 24-7 in the third quarter as we continue to pour it on and pound it. 24-14 in the fourth quarter, 31-14. That looks like it's going to be the end of the game. They can't come back. 31-21, 38-21, and that will be your ball game. 38-21 is your final score, and it's time to move on to the Super Bowl. Here we are in the Super Bowl, here to face the 9-7 Seattle Seahawks, as we are 11-5, and we're going to jump straight into this one. So let's get into this Super Bowl round. Looking into their top 3, looks kind of normal, but they do have Fred Warner, so that's a little bit interesting. But actually, I forgot to do something. I forgot to look if there's any development upgrades. Very, very interesting, of course. You guys always want to see that. I don't really know if you guys do because they don't have a lot of subscribers. Very, very sad face. Very sad face indeed. But apart from that, we don't really have any development upgrades, so it would be time to get into the Super Bowl matchup. We are in the Super Bowl, 17-14 against the Seattle Seahawks. 17-17 now, and big third down, so I think I'm actually going to hop into this and get into it. So before everyone starts raging at me in the comments and saying, "You suck, I can't believe you choked a Super Bowl," and yes, I did choke a Super Bowl. Look at this. It's typical Juju move right here. Juju has the ball, open field. Man tackles him. Then he fumbles the ball. I wonder where I've seen this.
Ball comes out.
But seriously, no disrespect to Juju Smith-Schuster. He's awesome. I love him. He's a hype beast. But yeah, he coughed it up, and not only did he do that, he was literally laying on top of the ball, and the Madden player glitched through his back and grabbed the ball whenever Juju was laying right on top of it and could have grabbed it. Then they made it to the 1-yard line. So, you know, just my luck because I'm just that great of a player. And like Juju always does, he makes it up for his mistakes because he's awesome. I put him on the streak route, and literally the very next play after the Seahawks got a touchdown, he got a touchdown right back. But it's 45 seconds left, and that will be your ball game, of course. 45 seconds left, couldn't do anything. Onside kick doesn't work. Your Pittsburgh Steelers does not get their 7th ring, but the Seattle Seahawks win the Super Bowl. Pretty disappointing way to end the season, but let's look at the MVP. Your MVP is Russell Wilson, almost 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 83.3% completion rate, which is pretty insane to me, but it's time to get into the offseason. As we lose the Super Bowl 31-38, we have players to re-sign here in the offseason. David DeCastro here. Yeah, I'm going to want him for like one more year, but sure, 2 years works as well. And he thinks the offer is great, so perfect. If you guys hear me yawning, I'm sorry about that. I just woke up. And here we are in free agency, but problem, we don't have any money. That's just a bit of a problem. But looking into it, nothing really has changed for development and everything like that. So apart from that, it would be time to get into the draft. Here we are in the draft, and basically almost literally nothing has changed because I simulated the draft because there's literally nothing on this team that we can really do to improve in the draft. But apart from that, I think it is time to get into the 4th and final season. Here we are at the midseason mark, coming off a loss to the Atlanta Falcons, but we are 5-2 behind the 6-2 Cleveland Browns, and we have Minkah Fitzpatrick and all these players to sign. But just like every year in the 4th season, I don't need to re-sign them. And here we are in the playoffs with a first-round bye as everybody in the division finished 10-6. We were coming off a win to the Miami Dolphins, but we win the division because we are special. And 16th best offense and the best defense in the NFL. Deshaun Watson had a solid season. 6 interceptions only. Derrick Henry, only 6 touchdowns, which is disappointing. Deontay Johnson had a pretty good season with 13 touchdowns, and Juju had 10 touchdowns. Defensively, Devin Bush with the most tackles. Tackles for a loss, 13 for J.J. Watt. Sacks, 10 for, T.J. Watt. I hate myself. I keep saying J.J. Watt. I'm so sorry. Safety, 0. Defensive touchdowns, 1 for 2 people. 2 defensive backs, I think it is. But I feel stupid for keep saying J.J. Watt because I noticed that the last time I said it. But yeah, apart from that, it is time to see who we're going to be playing in the divisional round. We're going to be playing the Baltimore Ravens. Yay! 10-6. Kind of hope we lose this. No, I'm kidding. We need to win this for the rebuild purposes. To move on to the AFC Championship, we do it. And I think I'm actually going to play this game. I'm going to play this game to see if we can make the Super Bowl again. So apart from that, let's get into this game. Here we are as the score is 3-19, and it is 11-19 now, and they are driving down the field. No, we are driving down the field. 26-11. Very, very good on our part. Almost, yeah, there it is. Okay, I was about to say almost done, but 11-29. That was kind of boring to watch for you guys because commentary wasn't there, but Devlin Hodges is their quarterback. Okay, bud, sure. Next, this is it, guys. We're in the Super Bowl against the 9-7 Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles are definitely not a favorite team of mine. I don't like the Eagles at all, really, but there's one man, one legend that makes it all go away and makes me feel better about the Eagles. One man, and if you guys know about that man, comment down below.
So a couple weeks ago, I shot the fucking dog that lives across the way. Little barking ass motherfucker. I had to drop my nigga. I had to put him the fuck down.
Not gonna lie, this is probably my best edited video I've ever had, but it's time to get into the Super Bowl. But before we get into the Super Bowl, I just want to give a huge thank you to Madden 20 highlights. If you guys want the best highlights on Instagram, you go check him out at Madden 20 highlights on Instagram. One of the best videos I've ever seen. Huge thank you to him. And apart from that, it is time to get back to the video. Here we are in the Super Bowl as it is 10-16 as we are losing to EDP himself. EDP 445 here. You guys already know what that means. If you guys don't know what that means, look it up yourself, because I don't even want to put it up the screen, but I probably will, because, you know, I feel like doing edits. But it's 17-22, so it's time to hop into this game and actually win it. Never mind, I suck at the game. 17-22 is your final score. It is what it is. EDP 445 wins the game. I don't really know what to say other than, yeah, I suck, or EDP is just a legend. And your Super Bowl wins almost 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 77.5% completion rates. But yeah, I think that would be the end of this video, guys. Thank you guys all for watching. I know I enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making these edits. These edits, I think, were actually pretty great, in my opinion, with EDP, all these memes. If you guys think this is my best edited clip, even if you made it this far, just if you made it this far, tell me in the comment section down below that this was like my best edited clip or not, whether or not you think it is. But I think it was. I think it was great. I enjoyed this video. I might just record my Titans video next, which will come out the day after this one comes out. But apart from that, guys, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and peace out.